Hi guys, welcome to another Grubs Guide. In this video, we'll talk about my KVM build. Right, so there's many ways to build your KVM character, but this is my build and this is the one that I've used for a few months now. So this is one I'm confident in using. So this will be the one that I'll be sharing with you. Okay, so first let's go over the skills. First we need level 5 Midas Touch because it's a prerequisite for Mammonite level 10. Mammonite is our main attack skill. This will be used in place of the normal attack for this specific build. You need to have minus 20 seconds cooldown for this build, for this to work well. Right, and then another prerequisite is level 1 push card. You need this to rent a push card. And then level 10 Crazy Uproar and level 10 Overtrust. These two are mandatory for the build because this benefits not only us but also our party members. Then level 10 Weaponry Research because we want more attack. And if you don't have enough skill points, you can leave this at 0 at the start, but do try to get it up to level 10 because it's a really nice skill to have. Then level 5 Skin Tempering for 20% more fire damage. This is also important for the build. Then level 5 Adrenaline Rush. If you have any auto attackers in your party, this is a nice skill to have. So if you have any assassins, snipers, or any Lord Knights, they'll really like this skill if they're auto attack build. And then you can skip this one. Weapon Perfection does not work in PvP. I put points into this not knowing that. So when I reset my build, I will be removing the skill points here and putting it elsewhere. Right, and then level 8 Hammerfall. This is another skill that is important because this is one of our two stun skills that is AoE. So this is important. I only have level 8 because of it needs minus 20 seconds. Right, so for Cart Blitz, we have it at level 10 because this is core to the build. You need level 10 of this. And you also need level 10 Cart Assault to further improve your Cart Blitz damage and also to have that 2 meters knockback effect. That's important for the build. I'll show you why later. Then other skills, another attack skill is Savage Slash. You need 20 seconds cooldown again for level 10. And then Meltdown, which is another attack skill. These two are important in addition to Mammonite because Mammonite, Savage Slash, and Meltdown, their attack or their damage type can be converted into fire. So we can capitalize on the 20% more fire damage from Skin Tempering. So level 10, level 5. You can add Savagery, but from my experience, the lifesteal doesn't really help you all that much. So it can negate some of the reflect damage, but for my build, the reflect damage isn't really that big of a factor. So I just left it at level 0. Right, so what I'm currently... let's go over the other mandatory skills first before I go over these. Because, right, so level 5 Cart Boost, this is a prerequisite again, but this is also useful if you're against hunters or snipers that are auto attack builds, because this gives 35% damage, dodge rate, final dodge rate. So that's 35% chance to dodge, and you get an additional 1% for every 13 bit. And this build has max bit, so that's at least another 3%. So that's nice, but you know, the dodge rate from the skill itself is what's important, not the additional from Vitality. And then Card Termination, this is core to the build as well. So this is a 100% stun chance skill, and it's an AoE skill. If you can aim this manually, better. But if you can't, just use it on auto, that's fine too. What's important is that this is a 3-second stun. So that's really important for PvP. And then Storm, I initially had this at level 1, but since I had more skill points, I added it to level 5. I have it at level 5 because it's another 20-second cooldown attack. And then Hurl Zenny is also 20 seconds cooldown. This is also really good damage. When it crits, it adds like 25% more damage or something like that. So this is another high damage skill. So that's really important. Now when I get more skill points, I'm going here. So Unfair Trick to lower the cost of Mammonite, Hurl Zenny, and Zenny-Storm. 3 skills which I use a lot for this build. I'm working on getting Greed to level 5, that way I can reach Zenny utility because it requires level 5. So the next 13 skill points I get will be put here to level 5 and then max this one out. Now you might be wondering why I don't add that much to the weight capacity skills, or and that is because I only really use um, card card blitz and card termination as my zen or my card skills. Majority of the time I spend using Mammonite, so I'd rather power up Mammonite instead of the card skills, at least for this specific build. If you're doing it for PvE, I recommend maxing out the card skills or the weight utility skills because more damage to card termination is really nice. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys is my stats. Right, for this specific build, I have 80 points in Vitality, then the rest goes to Strength. So as you can see, I'm level 66, so my Strength has caught up a bit, so total is 117, and my Vitality is 119. And this is important because you want to have as much HP as you can for this build. Right, because if dead people don't do damage is the main reason. So you want to stay alive as a melee character indeed. So you want to stay alive and have so you can do as much damage as you can. So currently I have 280k HP. So let's show you my build, the item build. So I have a +4 armor set of Osiris. So as you can see, I have level 2 of Ancient Terror set, so I do 6% every second. So that's 6, 12, 18, 24% max HP lost over 4 seconds. And this is important because as you can see, my damage isn't that high. So there you go. When I fully buff up, okay, so about 6.4k attack. In my PvE build, I have around 6.7 or 6.8k attack. And the reason I'm doing this is because staying alive is much more important than doing damage as a Whitesmith. And since I'm using this set, the Osiris set, most of my damage comes from this instead of from my skills. What I do for my skills is to lock down the enemy, and that's much more important. Right. And then for cards, I have all the HP plus HP cards. If you have blue cards that add plus 12% HP, that's much better. But for my purposes, since I'm still quite poor, I'm still building up blue cards for my equipment. I'm using the white cards for plus HP for now. I'll definitely replace these with the plus 12% HP ones once they become much cheaper. But for now, those work. And these are the same as in my PvE set. So I have Kukri cards on my rings, and a tarot card on my accessory or on my talisman. So before you start playing KVM, make sure that you have food buffs up and also to use the fire converters. Right, so you can use all of the food buffs, all of the free ones that you get from Kingdom Pass. It's up to you. Just make sure that you have them up during KVM because you better believe that your enemies are doing the same thing. Okay, so let's show you some games. Alright, so first thing you do whenever you enter a match is to scout the enemies. Right, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going through their portraits one by one to determine where the enemy priest is. So this is the guy. He's level 60. And I'm gonna check out his gear. He has 82k HP, so this should be pretty easy. Right, so first thing you do is set auto up and then tap on the target until you can see his HP bar. And then to initiate, use card blitz and then just run into him. Now this guy is under leveled for the match that we're in, so he died pretty quickly. He's gonna die soon. There you go. Right. So he dies pretty quickly, but I died too because I was right in the middle of the enemy team. But fortunately, my team was strong enough to just handle the rest of them. Right. The other thing that you want to do is to make sure that you have the farthest distance set on your settings. That way you can see the enemies before they come to you. Because if you only have near, you won't see your enemies at all. Right, so HP bar is showing. Waiting for them to engage. Okay, now that guy took my poison, but that's okay. Then this is what you need to do as a white. You need to push back the enemy away from their protected firewall or from their storm gusts. And then once you have them locked down, you can proceed with using the rest of your skills. This isn't a really a good match to show because we are like 3 or 4 levels ahead of them. But this is a nice way to show you that you can get an MVP as a Whitesmith, especially with this build. Okay, so this is another fun match that I want to show you guys. This is because it's a very good showcase of using card flips to displace the enemy priest. This is one of the only unique things that only Whitesmiths can do, because we have a constant knockback skill, and not many classes have that. So this is a priest. He has 123k HP. He's using blue gear, so should be fine. We're not expecting any reflect damage. So keep tapping his portrait. There we go. His HP bar is showing. Is beside the wizard, and there's 2 firewalls. So look at, I'm trying to displace the enemy priest as much as I can. Alright, so he's out of that AoE, lock him down, and there you go. He's down. Alright, once the enemy priest is down, the rest of the enemy team should go down as well, assuming you have equal gear or equal levels. So these guys are putting up quite a good fight, so I'm glad that our priest is still alive here. And there you go, so we just have to clean up the rest of the enemy team. Okay, second round, go. So same strategy, tap on the portrait of the enemy priest, turn on auto for the buffs, and let's there you go, there's his HP bar. Look for a good time to card blitz in. There's a lot of them grouped up, avoid the enemies, and there you go. Did he get the poison? No, he did not get the poison. The wizard got the poison, but that's fine. But with the help of my hunter friend or hunter teammate, we can still take down the enemy priest, even though he's protected by firewalls. So you're not expected to do everything yourself. You'll have to rely on your teammates as well, and you have to communicate with your teammates. So that's also an important thing to do. So 2 of my teammates, the knight and the priest, were on voice chat. I think you can hear them. But there you go. So that's another match. And once again, because of the poison damage, I'm the MVP again. Okay, so some parting thoughts on this build. This build is designed specifically to target the enemy priest and to lock them down. Now, if you can't do that, you can ask help from your allied, another Whitesmith or another knight, or even an assassin that is a dagger build. If you have 2 people attacking the priest, you have a higher chance of killing the target first before the other team kills your priest. And another thing to do is that I have a text guide on Reddit. The link is in the description of the video. You can look at that. I have a lot more tips listed there that I haven't touched on in this video because I have limited time in this video. So do check it out. Link is in the description. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!